Hello students, welcome back to my channel once again. In this video, today I am going to explain a very important named reaction which is called as Claisen condensation. If you remember yesterday or in the previous video, we have started acidity of alpha hydrogens under active methylene compounds. Hope you have watched and taken down the notes. If you haven't done yet, please go through the channel and the recent videos. You will find active methylene compounds under which we have learned what carbanion is, what an active methylene group is, and what the acidity of alpha hydrogens is. Okay, so next, moving on to the next topic, we have in this chapter, students, aceto acetic ester preparation, and preparation of aceto acetic ester we can find it under Claisen condensation. Please take your notebooks, open your notebooks, students, and put the heading preparation of aceto acetic ester, and please write down Claisen condensation. Please don't write spelling mistakes, students. Carefully write down Claisen condensation. It's a very important named reaction. What is this Claisen condensation? Students, here two molecules of acetic ester, they react with one another in the presence of a base called as sodium ethoxide and produce acetoacetic ester. Okay, here you can see two molecules of acetic ester. Two molecules of acetic ester. Underline this acetic ester. React with one another or react with each other in the presence of, can you see, students, in the presence of a base, that is sodium ethoxide, and produce acetoacetic ester. Okay, so in Claisen condensation, final product is acetoacetic ester. How we are getting? From two molecules of acetic ester. Okay, so they react with one another in the presence of sodium ethoxide. Fine, and this reaction we call it as, this is called Claisen condensation. Claisen condensation. Okay, so I think the notes is also clear, students. Okay, so this is the general statement of Claisen condensation. Now we should know what the reaction is and also the mechanism of this reaction. Simply statement is not sufficient, students. We should know the reaction and also we should know the mechanism of this reaction. Okay, so I am writing down the reaction first. Two molecules of acetic ester. Do you know the formula of acetic ester, students? Right. CH3 COO C2H5. Okay. So two molecules of CH3 COO C2H5. They are reacting with one another in the presence of sodium ethoxide. What's the formula of sodium ethoxide? In the previous class, I told you sodium ethoxide is NaOC2H5. Okay. Now, what they are doing? They are reacting and forming acetoacetic ester. I will show you acetoacetic ester. CH3 C double bond O CH2 C double bond O C2H4. Okay, so you have to, if you practice twice or thrice, you will easily learn the mechanism, and also you will try to you can remember this formula of acetoacetic ester also, students. CH3 C double bond O, CH2 C double bond O C2H5. This is acetoacetic ester. Okay, so this is the reaction of Claisen condensation. Two molecules of acetic ester. Write down here acetic ester. This is sodium ethoxide and forming acetoacetic ester. Okay, so shall we move on to the mechanism, students? Are you all ready? Excited? Okay then. So it takes place in the following steps. Step number 1. Write down first under the reaction, put the side heading mechanism. Okay, step number 1. Step number 1. So what happens in step number 1? So we have seen 2 molecules, right? So first write down 1 molecule of acetic ester. So how to write here in mechanism? CH2, write 1 hydrogen separately. Next, C double bond O, OC2H5. Okay, so 1 molecule of acetic ester, writing down in step number 1, put an arrow. So the reaction is taking place in the presence of sodium ethoxide. So this is Na plus OC2H5 minus. Here write down OC2H5 minus. What's the name of OC2H5 minus, students? Ethoxide ion. So this ethoxide ion, what it does? Carefully, this OC2H5 minus takes up the alpha hydrogen. Okay, so OC2H5 minus, when it takes up H as H plus, it comes out as minus C2H5OH. Below the arrow, write down minus C2H5OH. Clear? Okay. Next. So when this H is going out, going along with OC2H5 minus, this bond shifts in between these 2 carbons. That means a double bond is formed over here and this bond shifts to oxygen. So O becomes O minus. So how to write? CH2. Okay. Next double bond C. Now here O minus. Here OC2H5. Okay, CH2 double bond CO minus OC2H5. Next what happens? This O minus comes back. That means here again C double bond O and this double bond shifts to carbon. So this carbon acquires negative charge. Next, write the arrow. What's being formed, students? CH2. Here comes minus. So here double bond or single bond? Single bond. C double bond O. Next OC2H. Okay. So what do we call this now? This carbon bears negative charge. So what is this called as? This is called as carbanion. Write down here, students, below carbanion. Okay. Clear? The first step. So 1 molecule of acetic ester CH3 CO OC2H5 in the presence of ethoxide ion, we will find formation of carbanion in the first step. Next, second step, what happens? Let us see. Step number 2. Write down here step number 2. Second molecule of acetic ester, students, write down here CH3 C double bond O OC2H5. Okay, so here alpha hydrogen is not needed. That's the reason I did not write one of the hydrogens separately. Okay, so CH3 COO C2H5. This is second acetic ester. So here comes the carbon ion which is formed in the first step. Kindly write down, students. CH2 minus C double bond O, C2H5. Okay. So here what happens? Put an arrow. You can see here C double bond O. Which one is more electronegative, students? Oxygen. So this bond is shifted to oxygen. So O becomes O minus and C becomes C plus. So here comes this negatively charged carbon attacks this positively charged carbon. So I am drawing directly the arrow from here to here. Okay. So C double bond O, this bond is shifted to oxygen. O becomes O minus, C becomes C plus, and hence now this negatively charged carbon attacks this positively charged carbon. That means a bond is being formed between this carbon and this carbon. Okay. Next. Write down CH3 C O minus. Okay. Next below, don't forget to write OC2H5 OC2H5. Now here comes CH2. Try to complete C double bond O C2H5. Okay, OC2H5. Fine, students. Hope you understood how this is formed from second molecule of acetic ester and the carbon ion. Okay, just simple. This bond shifted to oxygen. This negative charge coming to this carbon. So a bond is being formed between this carbon and this carbon. Simply attach these two. Okay. Next what's going to happen? This negative charge comes back here. That means a double bond again between carbon and oxygen, C double bond O. So if this bond is, if here a double bond is being formed, C will be having 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay. So carbon valence is only 4. When this is coming back, immediately this OC2H5 group with this bond comes outside as OC2H5 minus. So ethoxide ion again goes back to Na plus over here and forms NaOC2H5. Okay. So next what happens? Put an arrow over here, students. Okay. Next. So the final product I am writing here. CH3. Hope you can see, students. CH3 C double bond O CH2 C double bond O OC2H5. What is this, students? This is nothing but aceto acetic ester. Okay. So here you have to write look here, this OC2H5 minus is coming out, right? So you just mention below the arrow minus OC2H5 minus without any confusion. Okay. So this is the last product, that is CH3 C double bond O CH2 COO C2H5. What is it, students? Aceto acetic ester. See how easy this mechanism is. Hope I made clear, students. Fine, understood. The first step, first molecule of acetic ester, in the presence of OC2H5 minus, we find the formation of carbon ion. Second step, this carbon ion reacts with second molecule of acetic ester and removal of OC2H5 minus, and the final product aceto acetic ester CH3 C double bond O CH2 C double bond O C2H5. So now what we will do is we will just put all these in terms of sentences, like step 1 what happened, step 2 what happened, and let us put down in the form of statements. Then you will get full marks without any doubt. So first point, look here students, ethoxide ion. What is ethoxide ion? OC2H5 minus. It takes up alpha hydrogen and produces carbon ion. Okay, it removes alpha hydrogen and produce carbon ion. That's what happening in the step 1. We have seen now. Next, this carbon ion attacks the carbonyl carbon of second molecule of acetic ester, and what is happening? Second acetic ester and produce anionic oxygen. Okay, O is becoming O minus. That is what we call anionic oxygen. And next, immediately the anionic oxygen is converted into acetoacetic ester. How anionic oxygen is being converted into acetoacetic ester, students? By leaving ethoxide ion. By leaving ethoxide ion. Okay, so these are the points that we write under Claisen condensation. This is a very, very important named reaction, students. Please kindly note down in your books and please practice twice or thrice so that it will be easy for you. Fine? Okay. So those who are watching for the first time, please kindly like the video, subscribe the channel, and also share with your friends so that you will not miss any notification. Okay. So meet you in the next video with a new topic, students. Take care.